I've owned multiple businesses over the last 18 years, including an accounting firm. I'm a certified CFO and spend my days helping business owners increase positive cash flow. But let me tell you something, for years I had money habits that were quietly sabotaging my success. It wasn't until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad that I realized money isn't just about math, it has a psychological component, and I really needed to stop the wasteful spending. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 habits that kept me stuck and exactly how I flipped the script. Let's be real, most of us weren't taught how to build wealth. We were taught how to spend money. My family was the rich dad type in Rich Dad Poor Dad. We ate out 4 to 5 times a week, went to the mall every Saturday, and the Christmas tree was like a department store display. It was pretty crazy. Now, my husband's family, on the other hand, total opposite. Engineers, doctors, and quiet millionaires who drove old cars and lived well below their means. I thought they were just pretty cheap. They could have retired at 40 and lived another 40 years just off investments. That contrast hit me like a brick, and today you're going to get the play-by-play on how I made the switch from being a super spender to an investor. So habit number 1, the lifestyle inflation, the silent wealth killer. This one's sneaky and hit me constantly. Every time my salary increased, so did my spending. I bought a nicer car, moved into a better apartment, spent more on clothes. Now listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't level up when you get a raise. However, don't do what I do. You need to take a much larger portion of that increase so you can exponentially level up later on. The more of that increase you use to invest in something that is going to grow your wealth, the better off you will be. See, your brain adjusts to your spending in 3 to 6 months. That new normal becomes financial baseline for spending. And then cutting back, if you have to, feels like deprivation. That's how people making 6 figures end up broke. Try not to get into the more you make, the more you spend mentality. So, an action step. If you're a W-2er, take a chunk of that increase and invest it. You can invest it in a new business or even in yourself in training to improve a new skill or learn a new skill, or do something that's going to make you more money down the line. If you're a business owner, take a chunk of that profit and reinvest into another business or an asset or something you can write off. That's how I fund all my new ventures. One business always feeds the next so that I don't have to go into debt and acquire another loan. Habit number 2, paying everybody else first. Let me ask you something. When you get paid, what's the first thing you do? Well, if you're like most people, you're going to pay your rent, mortgage, a child care, phone bill, car note, and then if there's something left over, you might save it, invest it, or spend it. I used to do that as well, but after studying people who built wealth from the ground up, I learned that they always pay themselves first. See, the rich take their money and reinvest it to make even more money. That's why they're rich. Using money to make more money, what a great concept. Now, I'm not telling you not to pay your mortgage and your car payment. You have to pay those bills. But what I am saying is that you have to train your mind to put yourself on the same priority level as your rent and your mortgage and car payment. It's not about the amount. You don't want to work hard your entire life. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can start with just $5 or $10. The sweet spot is saving or investing 10% of whatever you earn. The easiest thing to do is automate the process and have money deducted from your check into a savings or an investment account. Habit number 3, I know this one pretty well, the debt trap. We have all grown too comfortable with credit card debt. Consumers are making the credit card companies billions of dollars every year. Now, if you have a credit card and you're paying 16, 18, even 22% interest, just think about what you could be doing with that money instead of giving it to the credit card company. Now, I use a credit card for almost everything, but I do that so that I can get the rewards each month. But here's the kicker. I pay the entire balance off every single month so that I don't have to waste money on interest. That takes a lot of discipline, and a lot of people don't have that. Another debt trap is a car payment. If you're paying $400 or more on a car note, you could be using that money to invest, and again, growing it exponentially. Now, one of the things that you could do is stop paying a car note, invest it, put it in an index fund, keep your car a little bit longer, and then let that money grow, make money, and pay cash for a car later on. Habit number 4, the emergency fund hoarding person. Having savings is great, nothing wrong with that. But parking too much in a low interest account is like leaving money in the refrigerator or underneath the sofa. It's just sitting there losing value. See, poor people save, rich people invest. Now here's a balanced approach. Try and build a basic emergency fund, say $500, $1,000 to start. Once you're stable, keep 3 to 6 months expenses in a high-yield savings account. Anything above that, invest it. An index fund, real estate, a business. It should be growing, not sitting. See, your emergency fund shouldn't be your finish line. It's just the starting block. Habit number 5, we can't afford it. I know you've heard that before, but here's the thing. Wealthy people don't say that. They ask, how can I afford it? Look, what I'm saying is your words shape your options. When you stop saying, I can't, and start asking, how can I? Your brain starts hunting for solutions. Now, I think it's really important to say this. Most people aren't broke because they're lazy or irresponsible. Most people are broke because the math doesn't work. It's hard to budget when you're earning $2,000 a month and your rent is $1,200. So what do? You have to focus on growing your income. And I know that's easier said than done. But the good news is today there are so many side hustle options available. There are many ways to make money online. YouTube is a great example of people making money online. But here's the one important tip. Most people who are wealthy own a business, and they are wealthy because they own that business. Here's the situation. When you are a W-2 earner, there's nothing wrong with that, you are taxed at the highest tax rate because you don't have a way to shield that income. See, when you have a business, you're able to claim numerous deductions legally, which reduces the amount of taxes you pay, allowing you to keep more of what you earn. The bottom line here is that you need a business. It could even be a home-based online business. Just think about it. If you had a home-based online business, you could take a portion of your mortgage, your utilities, internet, phone, expenses associated with running that business and write all those deductions off legally. That allows you to, again, keep more of what you earn. That is how you build wealth. So did you recognize any of these habits in yourself? Which one hit home the hardest? What's one thing you're going to change this week? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear. And remember, you're not stuck with the money patterns you inherited. Whether you make $15 an hour or $150,000 a year, you can shift your mindset. And when you do that, everything else starts to shift.